Mahaviriyankaravavahai Tejasvinavadhetamastu ma vidvishavahai Shanti Shanti Shanti. The word yoga is derived from the root word yuj. Yuja means to yoke or to unite, to fuse. So when you say yoga, it is the fusion or union or uniting of some two things. In spiritual parlance, yoga means uniting the Jivatma with the Paramatma. And we know by now that Jivatma is basically the presence of the same divine principle in each of the bodies. Like when water is drawn from the well, the same water can be stored in several pots. So each of the pot is the body. The water content inside is like Jivatma, the Atman. However, the water is same. Its property is same, its quality is same, its abilities to quench one's thirst is same. But looks different because it's been now apparently divided into various pots. So you can think of this whole assembly as bodies which are containing their Jivatmas, all the pots which have been drawn from the same well of consciousness. But in bodies, they look different. Some pots are tall, some parts are round, some parts are flatter, some are of different other shapes and sizes, and painted and decorated differently. But the water content is the same. That is the principle of Jivatma. But when you put back this water into the well again, what happens? The water merges back into the total water of the well. Can you again differentiate that my pot of water went on the eastern side of the well and the other pot went on the western side of the well? Can you even differentiate between the different pots of water which have gone back into the well? You cannot. They all become one. And once again, when you draw from the well water, the redistributed water molecules will come back again into the pot. Water has no problem. It doesn't say, I remember last time I was in that pot, I want to go back to that pot only. It's not possible because it's all merged and mixed and it has no differences. Likewise, our Jivatmas, when they merge back into Paramatma, the Supreme Consciousness, our individual consciousness merges into Supreme Consciousness. That is the idea of yoga, that merger or union. When he mentioned about Yogeshwara Swamiji, I thought I'll just clarify a little more about what exactly transpired on that day. In India, coconut is considered as something that we relate it to our body consciousness. And the water inside the coconut is considered as the divine consciousness. So we break the coconut to break the body consciousness, like breaking the pots, so that water can be released. Water can go back to the original source. So every day, even in temples, you see, we break coconuts. And when you break the coconut, we actually are breaking our ego, our body consciousness, this idea of separation from the divinity. And so do not think that coconut is only to ward off some evil or it's a ritual, so we must break gods like breaking of coconuts. Nothing like that. It is basically to remind ourselves whenever we go to a temple that we must get over our body consciousness, this individual consciousness of Jivatma, and merge ourselves in the higher consciousness of Paramatma, that is the life. In old times, even today, in many countries and India, Bali was the very done ritual. Bali means some kind of sacrifice. So people will sacrifice several things. They will sacrifice animals. Even humans were sacrificed on Bali Pitam. Every time you go to any temple, outside that, in the whole structure of the temple, you have the first is the Mukhya Dwara, is that the main Gopuram is there from which you enter. Then comes Bali Pitam is there next to the Stambam. Dhwajastambham. There is a Bali Pitam. In every temple it is there. And that is where the animals were sacrificed. And in the name of animal, who was to be sacrificed, actually our own ego and our own attachments and animal qualities were to be sacrificed. How did this ritual came about, we do not know. But in the tantric system, where these sacrifices and certain tantric rituals are performed in order to please the god and gain whatever they want, the blessings, these in Karpuradi Stotram is there. It's a part of the Tantrika texts of India, where these Kapalikas and Aghoris and all those people, Vamapanthis, it's called the left side of the yoga. Right side of the yoga is all these Yama, Niyama, Pranayama, Pratyahara, and this Patanjali Yoga Sutras. The left side of yoga is this Tantra, where they perform certain sacrifices in order to please gods. I do not know much about it, but this is mentioned in one of the stotrams. So I got curious why these people did that and why this Bali thing came as a concept. And it is mentioned that you have to sacrifice 6 kinds of animals. It is said elephants have to be sacrificed, horses have to be sacrificed, cats have to be sacrificed, monkeys have to be sacrificed, goats can be sacrificed, and humans can be sacrificed. And each of them represent 6 Arishat Vargas: Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsara. Now you can study the Karpuradi Stotram, which animal is for what. Kama for what, Krodha for what, and similarly other things. But the last one, human sacrifice, out of 6 things, why human sacrifice is there? The explanation for that is when you sacrifice a human, you are sacrificing your ego. But the question is that by sacrificing a body of somebody, how do you sacrifice your ego? I do not understand the connection, but there must have been some understanding then, because these rituals are there in all tribal cultures across the world. Bali was there. Something was there that told them that God or goddess will get pleased. Like today, even if you go to many of these temples, Devi temples especially, lot of sacrifices are made. And that is, somehow they think that it will please the divine. I went to Marikamba temple in Sirsi. There is one buffalo which is raised inside the temple and supposed to get sacrificed at a certain date for every ritual. So it seems Mahatma Gandhi went there, Sirsi. He told, I will not enter the Marikamba temple unless you stop this animal sacrifice business. So nobody knew how to deal with it because it is a age-old tradition. Everybody needs to do that to gain whatever blessings from the divine. But Mahatma Gandhi insists that I am not going to come, and if you don't stop sacrifice. And then they came to conclusion that what is needs to be given to the goddess is the blood of the animal. So now the ritual is you draw the blood of the animal using a syringe and then offer the blood, but animal remains. So that is the method they follow now. Whatever be the reason for it. Similarly, I saw I read in an article in Chitradurga, there is another temple of Devi, and they wanted to sacrifice the buffalo calf. But the local commissioner prevailed and he went and told, why are you doing this? They said, if you don't do this, the goddess will get angry with us. She will curse us and we will have all kinds of problems. Then this man told them that in Marikamba temple this ritual is followed, you also follow that. They first were not agreeable, but finally they all came together and said, fine. Because we need the blood of the animal which they sprinkle on all their offerings, like the grains that they have harvested and things like that, and then they offer it to the god or goddess. So this man prevailed. He stayed all night at the temple along with 2 veterinary doctors and so on, and saw to that at the proper time of the ritual, 2 syringes of blood was drawn from the buffalo calf and it was offered to the goddess, and the buffalo was saved. So the sacrifice was a part of it. Now why I was telling is that we all think of these sacrifices as something which is external, but our scriptures are very clear, it is an internal. And I was wondering why animals like elephant, horses, and goats and cats, monkeys and men, why not sacrifice tigers, lions, leopards? Because you can't catch hold of them. There's a good possibility that you will get sacrificed in the process of sacrificing them. So I don't understand the depth of these rituals. There must be some reason. I have no problems with that. But in today's times, when we understand things better, when you believe in Advaita, that truly that which is to be sacrificed is your body consciousness. The identification with that body and mind has to be given up. And we have to identify with the consciousness which is within. Again, this consciousness is not divided into several consciousnesses. It is one and the only consciousness, like the water from the well is the same, but present in different pots, it appears to be different. But you drink from any pot, you would know it's the water of the same well. That understanding is Advaitic. So where this coconut comes, when humans were being sacrificed in various parts of the country, the other day we heard Jadabharata was also being taken to be sacrificed. Likewise, many places. Adi Shankaracharya, who was against this particular methodology of karma kanda, ritualistic worship. We have 6 darshanas there, 6 philosophies are there in Indian school of philosophy. 6 thoughts are there. There is a Nyaya, Vaisheshika, yoga and things like that. And then comes this Purva Mimamsa or Karma Kanda. So they were the ones who were always sacrificing things. And so much of superstition had gripped the minds of Indians at that point of time that they were not able to even appreciate why it should be done. They don't even ask questions because questioning the authority of the priests and the upper class was very dangerous. So they were not questioned at all and they were just following blindly. And this Adi Shankara saw and felt very bad, saying that our people are ignorantly doing things without even knowing the principle behind it, the purpose behind it. That is why at that point of time, Buddhism, Jainism started becoming very popular because they opposed these ritualistic ideas, this classification of people into different castes and what you call varnas, and treating them as superior and inferior. All this was totally eradicated in the Buddhism and Jainism, which happened almost at the same time, 550 BC, around that. In fact, there is a story that Buddha was going and there was a person taking a horde of sheep to some king's palace. So Buddha asked, what are you taking these animals for? Where are you taking them? He said, we are taking them all to be sacrificed in a great yajnam that is going on. Then he asked, why are these animals, goats and sheep being sacrificed? They said they think that in this thought that if you sacrifice them, they will attain heaven. But Buddha asked, if somebody wants to attain heaven, they should sacrifice themselves. Why these goats have to be sacrificed for the king to attain heaven? So he went along with this shepherd to the king and argued, how will the sacrifice of the goat or sheep lead you to heaven? No, sacrifice leads to heaven. So then it should lead the goat to heaven. Why should it lead you to heaven? And goat does not want to go to heaven. So why are you killing the goat? If you want to go to the heaven, then kill yourself. That is how he finally prevailed upon that practice, and the king became the disciple of Buddha and changed over to Buddhism from Hinduism, because Hinduism was not having answers to many of these age-old rituals which had no clear understanding and people were blindly following. So Adi Shankaracharya went and in a way opposed this movement. It was very difficult for him, but he nevertheless prevailed and he brought this idea of coconuts. He said instead of coconut is compared to a human head, ego. Head represents our ego, our identity. That's why any problem we chop off people's head, because the head is not there, what will you do with the body? So head was considered as a symbol of one's ego or an identity. So Adi Shankara said, instead of killing human beings, take this coconut. It is as good as human head. Think like that and break it. And break the ego and body consciousness. Let that be the way we can do sacrifice to God, because God's love when we are growing spiritually, and this is a spiritual growth. In this way, this worship of God using coconut and breaking coconuts became a ritual. But again, Adi Shankaracharya did not fully win the game, because now we break coconut left, right, center without knowing why we are breaking. The only reason is that we can make coconut chutney next day. So that is not the reason why we break coconuts. Coconuts is our head, basically our identity, our ego, our body consciousness that we are offering to the divine and asking us to merge our individual consciousness in the supreme divine consciousness. So every time you break the coconut, remember this. Don't simply go and break the coconut, because it is not worth it. It is God don't want all these things. What will they do with our coconuts? People go and shave hair in Tirupati or many temples. Now shaving off your head, how does it help the God? I believe our government is now collecting all the hair, making into wigs and selling it in Middle East and Africa. That's the only benefit coming out of shaving your head. But the idea is to get rid of body consciousness. That day I told, juttu, buttu, kattu, these are important. The hairstyle, the clothes that you wear, and the grooming that you do. The buttu means the vibhuti or whatever you put. These are identifications. Now, when you shave off your hair, you don't look very good when you don't have hair. Today you see people are going bald because of stress and so many things. So much of a big business is billions of dollars business is going on around the world for hair growth and regrowth and all that. So idea is the hair is identity of a human being. That's why boys in teens, girls in teens, they're so interested in their hair. All the time cutting this way, that way, styling. So the idea is that these kids are very fascinated by their hair, because hair is their identity. So why do we go and shave hair in the temple? They think we are getting rid of our sins. What will God do with your sins? He's not a garbage collector that you go and throw all the garbage at the temple. He is here to teach you some greater lessons. And when we remove our hair, we remove our identity, our extreme engagement. That time, remember, he told, Atyanta sangsataha. Do not be overtly indulging in your senses. So removing hair is a way of telling I am trying to get rid of my body consciousness. Wearing simple clothes, not having audacious, not having exhibitionistic or very show off kind of a clothing is a way to tell that we want to live a simple life. Sannyasis do that. They shave off their hair, they wear the same color, same garment all through because they do not want to give too much of importance to body. So the coconut also is a ritual in which what we do, and that day we learnt about camphor also. Why we do Ve Varati? Camphor is our ego. It melts away. When it melts, it releases light. In that light, we see God in the temple. So idea is that when our ego melts away, wisdom comes. In that wisdom, we see the truth of divinity. In the dark cave of our own heart, we find divine. So every ritual has a reason why it is being done. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo mad bhaktya parichati tadham bhakti ashnami upahritam ashnami prayatatmana, he says, Krishna. Flower, fruit, leaf or water, what you offer to me, I take it as a part of your bhakti, as part of your devotion. That is why we have, what is flower? I always says, a flower is Hridaya Pushpam. Your heart should be the flower, fragrant, without thorns of lust and desire. Pure and fragrant heart is a flower. Fruit is all the fruits of our action. Karma phaleshu jushtam. We worship the divine with the fruits of our actions. All the actions are offered to the divine. The fruits of it, good, bad. Karmanyeva adhikaraste. Ma phaleshu kadachana. That phala of the karma is the phala that we are offering to the divine. Then we said, Pushpam Patram. Patram is this body, the very physical body is called as Patram, on which all the items are served that we enjoy. Our senses are like the various delicacies served on the leaf of the body, and we eat all that and enjoy. So we offer our body, the Patram, along with all the senses to the divine, saying, take away our body consciousness. And then what do you offer? Toyam, water. Generally, they think water from a sacred river should be offered to the divine. But truth is, the water, the tears of devotion that we shed, tears of that separation that we feel with God, that is, or tears of ananda, bliss that we experience when we unite with God, these are the waters that need to be offered to the divine. So there is a significance behind every single ritual that we perform. The other day I was giving vibhuti to some people who had come from Japan. They asked me, what is that? I told, this is called vibhuti, this is sacred ash. What do I do with it? I said, when you have stomach pain, eat it. Not that way. I said that this is a reminder that this body is going to become ash only at the end, nothing remains. Bhasmantagum shariram krutosmara kritagum smara, says the Rishi of Isha Upanishad. My body is now turning into ash. Please remember the good I have done and liberate me, O divine. This is what it is. The body will. So we put vibhuti for that sake. We tell ourselves that this is going to end at some point in time. So every day you'd do all the makeup nicely, cut your hair, design, style, and all that. Finally, go to put a vibhuti and throw cold water on all the decorations by saying, "Oh, this is temporary. I know for the sake of grooming well, I need to do good, look good. But at the end, I am reminding myself by putting a vibhuti dot that all this grooming, decorating, beautifying, preserving, protecting of this body is going to finally end in this ash only." So every ritual has a significance. Nothing was done without a reason. So also, as I mentioned, the coconut was being broken. So why these three coconuts were broken for Yogeshwara? Because we have three kinds of bodies, three kinds of identities. One is the body is the physical identity, the what I call as the bhutakasha, the physical identity of body made of five elements. So you break that. That is called our stula sharira. The second part is called Sukshma Sharira. It consists of our mind, our memories, our habits, individuality, our ego identity. From several lifetimes, we are bringing it. So that is the second coconut that we break, which is Sukshma Sharira. Third is Karana Sharira, which is Jivatma Sharira. The idea that I am the water in the pot and not the water of the well. That is the final identification with Karana Sharira, which also needs to be broken so that the entire Jivatma can merge with the Paramatma and there is no two Advaita, they become one. So this liberation of three kinds is of this nature. That is why when we say Shanti, Shanti, Shanti three times, we are basically trying to attain peace in all these three levels, the physical level, the mental level and the spiritual level, from the point of view that we are still feeling that we are a separate Jivatma from the Paramatma. Like the Dvaita philosophy says, Vishishta Advaita philosophy says. Qualified monotheism it is called, where we think the spark of divinity is within us, but we are not the full divine that exists there. We are just a spark and we can't compare ourselves with that and we cannot become that. So that is Vishishta Advaita. Advaita believes that divine is different, we are different. We are the mortal lesser being. Divine is the supreme higher being. We can only worship and pray. We can never become one with it. Second one, Vishishtadvaita says, yes, we are also divine, but in a very small, limited way. That divine is the real divine, and we can only worship. We can never become one with it. Advaita says you are never two in the first place. You are always one. You appear to be two. That is the idea of Advaita. So these three bodies have to go away: the physical, the mental, and the spirit or the causal body, that we say, Karana Sharira. So three coconuts were broken for that reason. Anyway, this is deviation from the text. But then I thought, because he started and told about the Yogeshwara and three coconuts, I'm definitely going to get this question in the next question and session. Why three coconuts? Why not 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? Why people break 108 coconuts? Some people break, no? They have a ritual, I'll break 100 coconuts. What do you achieve out of it is my question. What do you do with breaking coconuts? But more importantly, coconuts are broken to remove our ego identity. Next time you see you're breaking the coconut, somebody breaking coconut, remember that. This is to break my ego identity, this lower understanding that I am just the body mind, which causes me to do all right and all wrong things in the world. Anichannapi Vashneya Baladiva Niyojita, as if forced to do all the wrong things because of the identification with body and mind. We'll go to the fourth chapter now. The fourth chapter is another beautiful chapter where now Janaka is turned to speak. First chapter, Ashtavakra spoke. Second chapter, Janaka replied. Third chapter, Ashtavakra questioned Janaka's understanding, whether he's really understood the truth. And fourth chapter, Janaka re-emphasizes and in a way, answers, reinforces the idea that he has understood the truth. And so Ashtavakra, this is like feedback mechanism. You ask the feedback, then you get replies, and you are sure that the student has understood. So Janaka Uvacha on page number 236. Hantatmagyasya dhirasya khelato bhogalilaya nahi samsara vahi kair mudhaihi saha samanata. He says, Hanta atmagyasya dhirasya. Hanta is again an exclamation of wonder over here. Atmagya is the one who has known the self. Dhiraha is the one who is the discriminating, the wise one, who has walked this path of spirituality. Khelato bhogalilaya. How does he live? Whatever experiences he's experiencing in the world, bhoga, enjoyment, so-called, both of sorrow and joy, the experience of that, he treats it as a play, khelata. He plays, revels in that like a leela. Leela is again a word which is a playful sport. It's said that this whole jagat, this world is nothing but leela of the divine. It's a play of the divine. It's a playful sport of the divine, they say. One day somebody asked me, why did God create the world? I said, it is supposed to be a leela of God. He said, what? We are all suffering here and he's enjoying all that leela. What kind of God is he? I said, suffering is in your head. It is not in his head. You are feeling you are suffering. When two teams play, one team has to lose, right, to game. Now the team that loses is supposedly suffering. The team that has won is supposedly enjoying. But for the audience, who is neither belonging to this team or not that, they just enjoy the game. The sadness and happiness is for the teams. But for the audience, there is no sadness and happiness. They are enjoying because they just came to see a nice game or a nice sport. So God is like the audience, like the consciousness, witness, enjoying the sport. When we lose, we become sad. Next time, suppose the same team which lost wins the game. Suddenly the equation changes. This side is happiness, that side becomes sad. So sadness and happiness keep shifting between teams. But the enjoyment of the game per se by the audience, who is somebody who likes and loves that game, would just enjoy the game. He won't look at which team has won, which team has lost. He's come to watch the game and enjoy the game. Likewise, the whole world is a leela. It's a playful sport. Sunrises, sunsets, moon rises, moon sets, all these like a nice drama like leela. And he plays along the leela. He does not try to resist it, change it, try to oppose it, try to insist upon it should be one way or the other. He doesn't get into all these things. He just goes with the flow. He plays along, khelato. He plays along this game which is going on of bhogalila, of people enjoying sometimes and not enjoying another time, and going through happinesses and sorrows and good and bad. He just goes along with it. He just plays along. Nahi samsara vahi kair mudhai sa samanata. And the fool, mudha, who thinks that he is the one who is carrying the burden of the samsara vahika, or who is being carried away by the samsara. He feels the responsibility for everything that is happening. because of his ego and doership. He feels responsible. Such a fool can never be compared with that knowledgeable one who sees the whole world as just a playful sport of the divine. What he's saying? He's saying that don't categorize me into that fool who's getting carried away by the samsara or who feels the burden of the samsara. I am understanding the difference between the two. I am in the category of the Atmagyani who is seeing everything as the sport of the divine. For him, everything is okay. Once Buddha was approached by a mother who had lost her child and went to him and said, I am very sad, please help me. He asked, what help you require? He said, please bring my child back to life. You are supposed to be a great one. You can do this, please do that. He said, I'll definitely do this on one condition. What is the condition? Buddha said, go and get me a handful of mustard seeds from any house where there has never been a death. Once you do that, I will bring your child alive, back to life. The mother, in her innocence and desperation, went door to door, asking, I want a fistful of mustard seeds from your home if you have never had a death in your home of anyone. And everybody said, no, that is not possible because in our home, my grandfather died, or my mother died, my brother died, somebody died. So in every home, there was one death that had definitely happened. So she came back empty handed to Buddha and said, I'm sorry, I could not get what you asked for, but I want my child back. Then Buddha tells, see, death is inevitable. Insisting upon living on forever is foolishness, mudha. You have to be jnani to know that death happens. It can happen any time. That's Shankaracharya says, Harate nimishad kala sarvam. It can come any moment just like that. It doesn't come announcing that I am coming. It just comes. How many people today, they fall like dead wood on the streets with a heart attack? They started off early quite nicely from their homes, but they didn't even reach offices. They fell in gyms, they fell in middle of the concerts, they fell in their offices, they fell while lecturing. How many heart attacks we have seen in the recent times? Did death tell them and come? It just came. So he says death is inevitable. It will come sooner or later. And he teaches the wisdom of self or the knowledge of the self, the Buddha part of it, the awareness part of it to the mother and relieves her of her suffering. So does he change the situation by bringing the child alive and help the mother get over her sorrow? No. He plays along. He says death has happened. Now what to do? Deal with it. Deal with it. That is the idea. Wabi sabi, remember? Take it as it comes. Deal with it. How do I deal with it? By knowing the truth that death is inevitable. It can happen to anyone, anytime. And get over it. So that is how wisdom helps us to deal with situations. Situations don't change, we change. That is how we are able to deal with life better. Life will not change itself. Its course will remain the same. It is we who have to navigate better so that we can deal with life in a more mature and balanced way. So that samsari, he feels the burden of everything, the responsibility of everything, gets stressed, anxious, sorrowful, also excited, both ways. These two cannot be compared, says Janaka. These two cannot be compared. Bhagavan used to tell a nice story of a train and a traveler, village traveler. What does he do? He sits in the train and thinks, how much burden this train is carrying. Let me carry my luggage on my own and unburden the train of at least some weight. So he takes all his luggage, puts in his head and sits in the train. Bhagavan always laughs and jokes about this story, saying, he is ignorant. Those who are aware, they would laugh at him. What are you doing? Put that luggage down back. The train that carries, you will carry your luggage also. You carrying luggage on your head does not help the train any which ways. It makes your life worse. So what happens in life is happening in life. We make it worse for ourselves by taking so much of responsibility due to our ego identity. That is the reason why we suffer or we rejoice, so-called rejoice, the pleasure and pain. This is why it is, because we don't understand the truth, that all this is under a greater divine play and we must play along. Death will happen, play along, deal with it. Life will happen, play along, deal with it. It is a part of life. Daily there are waves formed, waves dying. There are millions of children born and millions of people dying every day, everywhere. You can't insist upon that this should not happen. So play along, deal with it. Play along means deal with it is the right attitude. Don't get depressed or excited with events. Take it in the right spirit. So Jnani will take it in the right spirit. Ajnani will suffer because he feels burden and responsibility of all of this. Physical burden, as I mentioned, in the train, the villager is carrying the luggage. Mental burden. Physical burden is one way of thinking. Mental burden of all that we do, because of a doership, how much it works on our mind. And we cannot get rid of it because we are mentally attached to things and we suffer and suffer and suffer. The idea is that how to get rid of this burdening ourselves unnecessarily. Life throws challenges, turn them into opportunities, learn from them and grow. That is the idea. Then life is a dream, he says, realize it. See, all this time Ashtavakra is saying, no, everything like swapna, everything a dream. Take it only with that much of interest. Don't get involved with this dream, because in dream everything is illusory, nothing remains. In dream you may become a king, you may become a pauper. When you wake up, you are neither of those. So understand and live only to that extent. Don't get too involved with things. Life is a dream, realize it. And he says, life is love, enjoy it. That is the ultimate statement. At the end, all this is out of love. God has created the whole world out of his love. Everything is here to teach us how to love each other. Love and enjoy that ability to be able to love. Don't expect to be loved back. Love itself is its own reward. Love itself is being able to love itself is a reward for being able to love. You don't need to be loved back. Most of the people want to be loved back when they love others. No, love is one way. You keep giving love, that's it. Taking love does not know how to take, it only knows how to give. So live a life of love and enjoy it, Bhagavan says. Life is a game, play it. Life is a challenge, meet it. Life is a dream, realize it. Life is love, enjoy it. That is the attitude of a jnani. He doesn't get carried away or get burdened by all these ideas of responsibility and doership and then enjoyership. Otherwise, he goes on, suffers and suffers and suffers. There is no end to it. It is a game and you must enjoy it like a game without taking sides. When sports meet happened, our children, first time, they told me, Swamiji, you have put every campus, in the opposite team. So this campus versus that campus, the final games over here. That is leading to a lot of jealousy and anger in campuses because we feel different from the other campus. Why don't you mix the teams? That wonderful idea came from some students. I said, why not? Because I'd given a lecture on Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrughna. They were playing the game of catching a ball. So Rama would throw and then Lakshmana has to catch. Or Rama and Lakshmana in the same team, Bharata and Shatrughna in the other team, opposite team. So Rama, being Ajanubahu, long-armed one, was always able to catch the ball and they were winning. Bharata and Shatrughna were getting depressed that they were losing every time. So Rama on purpose started dropping the ball now and then. Then Lakshmana saw that. He said, Rama, you're doing it on purpose. Why are you doing this? We will lose the game. Then Rama said, if we win the game, only we will be happy. That is me and you, Lakshmana. But if they win the game, all four of us can be happy. This is the story I had told so that they don't kind of, beat each other in the football and volleyball and basketball matches. Because children can get very angry and jealous. I gave them the story and said, please be mindful of what you're doing and don't be angry with each other. It's after all a game. Everybody wins, things like that. Then boys came and said, that's a theory part of it. The practical is let's mix the team. So there is the Kalburgi, Mandya and Jaipura and Hassan all are in the one team. Same number of people are on the other team also. So there is no real fight. They just play for the sake of playing, enjoying, giving their very best. I loved the idea. But of course, there were some other fellows who were very competitive. They came and told, it's a very bad idea, Swamiji. I got an ulta letter also saying, don't do this. It is taking away the spirit of competition and spirit of this. I told, there's no spirit in that. What kind of spirit is? And you're getting angry with your own brother. Tomorrow you can't talk to them and look at them and say, those us versus them. I don't want that. So we went by the first suggestion and mixed up the teams. So they do their semi-finals there, but finals are here in a mixed team. So then we enjoy the game, Bhogalilaya. Khelante Bhogalilaya. We do not get overburdened and carried away by the emotions of winning or losing. So that is the idea. See, Ashtavakra can be practically applied. When we all are a team, there is no single winner. Everybody wins when the team wins. That idea, that is all work together so that everybody wins in the process. Next shloka, this is on page number 240. Yat padam prepsavo deenaha shakradyaha sarvadevataha aho tatra sthito yogi na harsham upagacchati. Again, a beautiful idea. He says, Yat padam, that padam means that state of existence, that exalted state of being. Prepsavo, which is desired to be attained by the devoted. Deenaha means humble ones. And Shakradyaha Sarva Devata. Shakra Devata is Indra, the lord of all the gods. Even he craves including all the Sarva Devatas, everybody craves to attain that exalted state of absolute equanimity and peace, that wisdom. Aho tatra sthito yogi na harsham. And the one, what a wonder that in that state, the yogi who is established continuously, whose Jivatma, Paramatma differences are gone. He identifies himself with the ultimate supreme consciousness. To such a yogi, na harsham upagacchati. He doesn't get excited that, oh, I have attained this wisdom. These gods are craving to attain that state. People are struggling to attain that state and think that it's an achievement if they can achieve that state of self-realization and wisdom. Whereas the one who is really established in that state, he does not get subjected to any excitement of achievement or any extra joy or extra excitement or pleasure out of it. He is equanimous even after attaining it. The millions and millions, remember, so many thousands, Manushyanam Sahastreshu Kaschit Yadasiddhaye Radamavi Siddhanam Kaschit Mam Veti Tatvadaha. Shri Krishna says, out of thousands of people who walk this path, a few people only reach me. And those who reach, only a few understand the truth. Not everybody is given to understand this truth. That is how it is. Many get filtered out on the way because they give up. They cannot take it anymore. Somewhere they get stuck, either in Kamini or Kanchana or in the fear of death, Kala Mrityu. One of the things they get stuck with. So they don't reach all the way till the end. They don't realize me. Even gods do not realize me. Even gods crave to attain a human birth to continue their spiritual journeys. Like a government cabinet is there. Prime Minister is the head of the cabinet. Then you have got a home minister, you have got defense minister, you have got minister for water and irrigation, minister for other industries and chemicals and fertilizers and so many mining and things like education, health, family welfare, public health. Like that, all these gods are ministries under the cabinet of the Supreme God, he said. They all have been given their jobs to do. Brahma is the prime minister, let us say, who is the creator of this universe. And then everything under the control of that is been given as portfolio to various gods. So Varuna is there, god of water, Vayu is there, god of wind. Like that, each of these natural forces are considered like a minister of the cabinet. Our offerings to you, Bhagavan, or supreme divine consciousness, he said, if you have a problem with water system, let us say, where do you go and submit the complaint? To the water department, not to the prime minister's office. So you have to worship each of these gods for that reason. When you have to pay electricity bill, you have to go to the electricity department. You can't go to the water department and pay electricity bill. Likewise, each of these gods have a role and they are playing their role. They are bound by their duties. They are actually lesser than, in a way, the status is lesser than human beings. Why? Because human beings can attain liberation, gods are not allowed to. They are bound by the duties that have been given to them and they cannot just escape. Only human birth is the one which is allowed to continue this journey and attain the final step of that Tatpadam, that ultimate Padam, ultimate state. It's not given to gods, demigods, semi-gods, not to the Pitrus, not to the Yakshas. Nobody, no other form of life has this privilege as human body. And human body alone can lead you to liberation. No other bodies will allow you liberation. Even animals, they say, they cannot liberate themselves. One reason they say is because our Kundalini Shakti, which is one of the reasons why we can attain, is we have got a straight spine. It means we can stand straight, whereas the animals are all bent. So they cannot attain. That's why I tell straight. At least some possibility of you attaining your divinity. Don't slouch. And the idea is that we should be able to attain that liberation. It's given only to humans. And being born as human, if you don't do that, then what happens? Our scripture says you have committed suicide. Yekecha atmahano janaha. They have killed themselves. They have committed spiritual suicide. Why? Because they didn't put any efforts. And God's just wanting to be humans so that they can liberate themselves. Here are we as humans, lost in such animal ideas, not even interested in liberation. Why? Because we do not have the wisdom, we do not have the company of the right people, we do not have the guidance of a guru. So we go on doing the same repetitive things habitually, never come out of this cycle of birth and death. So that is the idea, that human beings have been given this great privilege which others do not have. Others crave for it, but they cannot achieve that. And also what it says, such a person, yogi, having achieved that state also, he doesn't feel any elated. Some people are there. The moment they sit and meditate for 20 minutes, they see some colors or hear some sounds, immediately they run around, call up their first person, start messaging, meeting. You know what, today in my meditation I experienced this. You know what I experienced that. They want to tell everybody about it. But real Jnani is Nativadi. He's become silent because he's so lost in that experience, the joy of it, that his mouth cannot open to speak about it. Because he sees by speaking about it, I will lose that peace and joy and equanimity of it. So he contains that joy to himself. Whereas these Agyanis, little experience they'll have in the spiritual path. They want to publish books, they want to put up a podcast, they want to start YouTube channels, they want to become lecturers, they want to start sharing with the whole world. I experience this, I experience that. Those who really experience, they won't say anything. The Kenopanishad says, the one who says I know it doesn't know it. The one who does not say he knows it actually knows it because he's quiet about it. Ramana Maharshi would say, keep quiet. Don't simply go around blabbering about it. Yes, you have attained some spiritual growth. Don't go and publicize it. It is detrimental to your own spiritual evolution because it brings jealousy, wrong thinking, negativity. All is energy, right? Negative energy will come and affect you. So quietly do your thing. And if you really attain some real spiritual growth, you will become quieter and quieter and quieter. You won't be noisy anymore. You would not want to tell about it to anybody because it is such a deep experience that you just do not want to break it or destroy it by opening your mouth. That is how it should be. So that is what these people are. After attaining that exalted state of experience of the self, they don't brag about it. They go on tom-tom about it. They don't trumpet about it. They are very equanimous. So gods are also craving for this state of spiritual exaltation, but they don't get it easily. The one who gets it becomes quiet and peaceful. Janaka is telling the qualities, what he is experiencing now. Because Ashtavakra said, have you gotten over the fear of death? Have you gotten over your desires? And so on. He keeps questioning. So Janaka is replying, this is such a state of exaltation. I don't know what to say. And I not that because it has come to me, I'm feeling that I have achieved something, so I'm bragging about it. No, I'm just expressing to you, Guru, out of gratitude that what you taught me has become now I'm really experiencing that. Not to say that I'm excited about it or anything. So no vikara is happening. I'm quite peaceful and I'm not having many egos. Yogis become very egoistic. You have no clue. I met some yogis too. If they talk too much and they have an attitude and arrogance, they definitely are not spiritual. Lot of Swamijis are like that. When they come, you have to treat them like this, you have to do like this. Yes, respect is important. I'm not saying you have to give respect to people for their whatever they are. But beyond that, demanding things is not right. But I have seen a lot of people very particular about how it should be done, how it should not be done, and things like that. Because they think of themselves too much. Because a real yogi, a real sannyasi would be so quiet that nobody would know that he's a jnani. A jnani's highest quality is nobody should know that he's a jnani. He should be so quiet. One king was there. His wife was very devoted to Rama. So she would go and every day to the temple and offer worship. But whenever she would ask the husband, can you please come with me to the temple? You also worship Rama. He would say, no, no, I have enough things to do. I have the country to run. I have court to conduct. I cannot come. So she would feel very bad. And she will go to the temple and cry in front of Rama. My husband is not devoted to you. How much ever I tried to persuade him, he doesn't come. I feel very bad. Please make him also your devotee. Please make him also come to the temple. Make him also involved in all the rituals and prayers. And she keeps praying like that. One day when they were sleeping one night, it so happens that while sleeping, the husband says, Rama, Rama, like that, in dream. And the wife wakes up. Oh, my husband has finally uttered the name of Rama because very happy. And next morning when the husband wakes up, he says, finally Rama has heard my prayers. From your mouth, from your lips, the name of Rama was chanted last night. Husband feels so bad. He says, I never wanted you to know that I am a devotee of Rama. I always wanted to keep that devotion within myself. Unfortunately, in dream, I did not have any control. So I uttered the words Rama, Rama. But I had no desire to show off like you, going 10 times to the temple, doing 100 things in the name of ritual worship, and claiming everywhere I am the greatest devotee on earth. I don't want that. I was worshipping Rama in my own heart quietly, but unfortunately it came out of my mouth. What a misfortune, like that, he says. So, Jnani is like that. He will keep to himself. Why? Because what is the need of telling? Doesn't feel the need of telling unless it's divinely ordained. If divinely ordained, you have to teach other people about it. You have to be a teacher. That's a different matter. Left to himself, the Jnani would not open his mouth. Forget about bragging and talking and making a big noise about his achievements. He would never say a thing because he is a wise person. Wise people are generally humble and quiet. The otherwise are the noisy and the arrogant types. And this world is only having two types of people, wise and otherwise. So that is the idea. So talk too much and I know who you are. 241, page number 241. He says, Tat Jnasya means the knower of that, Punya Papa Bhyam, Sparsho Hina Antar Jayate. Sparsho he means by contact or by engagement with those, what the senses, the world, the things like that. He knows that Punya Papa, the good or bad that comes out of it, is mainly because of the external contact of it, not because of the internally. Internally is untouched by the Punya Papa. Like, Nahi Akashasya Dhumena Drishyamanapi Sangatihi. Like the smoke does not disturb the sky, does not get Sangati of the sky, means it does not get stuck to the sky. It appears to be in the sky. When the smoke rises from somewhere, it seems to be clouding the sky, dirtying the sky, or making the sky look different. But sky or the space in reality, Akasha is not also actually sky. The space does not get affected by the smoke. Smoke does not stick to the space. Space remains undisturbed. Likewise, the Jnani, the knower of the self, deals with the world. Sparshaha means comes in contact with the world, but world cannot stick to him. So punya papa that comes out of the worldly engagements does not stick to him. Like the smoke does not stick to the sky. It appears to have got stuck or dirtied the sky, or it's for sometimes it lingers out there, but it does not actually disturb or dirty the space or the sky. Likewise, the jnani, though engaged in the world, doing all kinds of activities, understand this is because of being in contact with the world. We go through this punya papa and so on and so forth. But internally, he is free. Like the sky or the space is free. If there is fire, the sky is not getting burnt. If there is smoke, the sky is not getting dirty. Likewise, if there is a rain, the sky is not getting wet. The space basically. Sky, when I say it is space that is not getting wet or hot or whatever. It remains what it is. However, it appears to have got engaged and entangled in all these different things that are happening. But by itself, it is free. Likewise, the jnani is engaged in the world, and because of the engagement in the world, he will go through these motions of good, bad, punya, papa. But deep under, he knows that I am not affected by any of it. I am ever free from all these disturbances of good, bad. What do we do in our whole life? We want to accumulate as much merit as possible and avoid as many sins as possible. Why? Because we have been told that with merits we can go to heaven and sins will take us to hell. So the whole life goes on in this. Collect merit and redeem your sins. Why you go to temple? Yeah, we'll get punya sikutte. We'll get punya dese. What punya you will get by going to the temple? Or our papa will be dissolved, our sins will be dissolved. So we go and take dips in the rivers. But the truth is that papa, punya, all these are not the qualities of the self. Self is unperturbed, undisturbed, unchanged, unaffected by all of these things. So if you are established in the self and then engaging in the world, papa, punya does not touch you. Because when you do things in the world, there will be people who will be happy with you, there will be people who will be upset. When a soldier is fighting for his country and killing the people on the other side, he is doing his duty. He must kill, because if he doesn't kill, then he is not doing his duty as a soldier. But does it cause sin to the soldier because he has killed somebody's father, somebody's brother, somebody's son on the other side? No, if he is doing his duty as dharma, he will not accrue any sins. That is what Krishna tells Arjuna. Sukha dukkha swame kritva labha alabho jaya ajayo tato yuddhaya yujyasva naivam papam vavapsyasi. He says, keep sukha dukkha, the joy and sorrow that comes out of this war. Labha alabha, profit and loss that comes out of this war. Jaya ajaya, victory and defeat that may come out of this war. Keep them all as equal. Be equanimous. Treat them all equal. Tato yugyaya yujyasva. Again, unite your mind to that idea of the higher self, not the lower self of doership and enjoyership. Tato yuddhaya yujyasva. Get ready to fight the war with that union of your mind to the higher self, not to the lower one. And then you fight the war, naivam papam vapsasi. You shall never attain sin of this war. You will end up killing all your kith and kin. And because of this war, a lot of people will die on both the sides. And you might be the cause for it in a way that you were a warrior and because of you so many got killed. But if you develop this attitude of equanimity, where you treat loss and gain, happiness and sorrow, victory and defeat equally, with that ability, with that preparedness, with that readiness, enter the war. And no sin will ever accrue to you, is Krishna's message to Arjuna. That's exactly what he's saying. Like the sky or the space is not affected by the smoke, though appears to be affected by it, likewise the jnani, the knower of the self, engaging in the world might be appearing to be affected by the good and the bad that comes out of his actions, but deep inside he is unaffected, he is untouched by the good and the bad that happens because of his engagement in the world. Somebody who is a hangman in the court, right? He has to execute people at the order of the judge. Now he just goes about executing. He has no personal likes or dislike for the criminals. Oh, such a young boy, he is to be executed. How sad, I do not want to execute him. Such a old man, ugly man, very cruel, let me execute him. Nobody chooses. It's a part of the duty. Court has given the order, you just execute, go home, eat and sleep. Next day you come back to execute more. This attitude, if he gets mentally or emotionally involved in it, the ahankara gets inside it, then punya papa happens. With no ahankara, no punya papa. As I was saying, punya is like multiplied with some positive, into plus 2. Papa is multiplied with negative, into minus 2. Now, if you multiply anything with a positive integer only, it will lead to some or positive number. Now, if you multiply anything with 0, 0 multiplied by plus 2 is equal to 0. 0 multiplied by minus 2 is equal to 0. So when your ego is not there, doership is not there, punya also won't touch you, papa also not touch you. Many people say, let punya touch me, papa did not touch me. No, either or this is. I told it is binary. Either you take both punya and papa of this world and deal with both, or take none. Abandon both. Remember, he tells me, either everybody belongs to me or nobody belongs to me. In the previous shlokas he tells. That is the attitude. Either think all are ours or think nobody is ours. I am ever free. Or think everybody is ours because all are mine, because all are divine. Take one of the approaches. So the person who has established the self, for him punya papa does not happen. It is not his, like the road is not the reason for the accidents or people reaching home. Road is a road. It is just there. People drive badly, they meet with accidents. Drive well, they reach their destination. The road cannot be called you are a sinner. I drove on this road and I died. What did road do? You drove wrongly, you did not follow the proper discipline of driving, you died. So, space, all these elements are free. Likewise, our self is also free. It is never affected by that. The only reason why it affects us is when we get involved as doers and enjoyers. The sangati happens. Here the word is used. Dashyamanapi sangatihi. It appears to be attached. When this attachment really happens to us, where mind gets involved, then we suffer. Many times I tell our doctors, I keep teasing them. See, when it is somebody else's child, you are happily ready to cut open the chest, do the operation and do whatever it takes. Suppose you have to operate on your own child, then hands start shivering. Why? Association, attachment. That is the reason why punya papa comes. If you don't associate, you're doing just your duty or dharma impartially with best of your abilities, no punya papa will come as long as you treat the gains or losses that come out of this process same and do not get affected. Only such a person who is established in the self will not get affected. All others will definitely be carried away by the emotions and then they will suffer the consequences of either positive or negative. So at this point in time, there is one small meditation that you can do, how to feel like the space or the akasha and not feel like smoke. We have three things. Remember I told with the coconut example, the first is the bhuta body, the physical body is called bhuta akasha. Akasha is space, not the sky also. In Hindi we call it akasha as sky, but akasha in Sanskritam means the space, the subtle element of space on which there is sky, there are planets, there are so many things happening. But it is space. It is there inside every atom. I told 99.9999 and whatever 9 you can put, that percentage is only space. The matter is hardly there. Because of the forces, we are all held so together that we feel everything is solid. But actually nothing is solid. Everything is space. So that idea. So think that the space exists in three levels. One is physical space, the body, your organs, your limbs, your entire physiology of that, anatomy of that. That body is the physical space in which There is one existence, one type of, that is called the physical body or Stula Sharira. The next thing that you have is Sukshma Sharira, which does not have the physical body, but it has all your thoughts in it. Thoughts, emotions, memories, experiences, and the ego identity that my name is so and I am such and such person. That identity, all these are in another space within you. That space is called Chittakasha, the space of the mind. And then there is a space called Chidakasha, the eternal space, in which these two spaces exist. So these are the three levels of those spaces in which we exist. While you think that we exist only in the physical space of the five elements, this hall and our body exists, that's only one part of the reality. Beyond that is your mind. When you are asleep, your body is not known to you. You have forgotten your body. But your dreams are going on. In the dream space, you are still seeing things, some emotions are going on, some thoughts are going on. So where is that space? That is not physical, right? Can you weigh the things in the dream? Suppose you ate something in the dream. Can you really compare it with the physical parameters, empirical calculations? You can't. Time itself is illusion. In dreams, so many things happen within a minute, which physically will take a whole day. Suppose you dream of going to Chennai and coming back. In dream, you can just go like that and come back. But in physical space, that will take 6 hours of drive and back again. So the idea is that there is a space of physical body which with its own limitations of the three dimensions we live in. Then there is a mental space where the dimension of three dimensions disappear. The time disappears because we cannot really relate to time or space or situations remain, but time disappears like that. Then there is a space where no dimensions are there. It is eternal, forever. So the idea is this, that these spaces do exist. So what you can do to establish yourself in the higher super consciousness, these three are also, Bhagavan would call that as, this is conscious. Physical is being conscious of your physics or physical body. Then conscience, which is the space in which your emotions and thought and feelings exist, memories exist. And consciousness, which is the supreme state of awareness, which is the reason why you are even aware of the two lower states of existence. So think of these as three different states of existence. When you are now sitting, you are conscious of the body and whatever you are experiencing through the body. For a moment, you are also there in conscience state where you are experiencing your mind, your emotions, because everything I am saying is triggering some response within you. And that response is happening in your mental space, the Chittakasha. And then there is the space of the consciousness, which is the spirit. So what practice you can do is, you can first become aware of your physical body. Bring all your awareness into the physical body. Go through your toe till the top. Now focus on your toe, then your toe on your heels, on your knees, on your waist, on your chest, on your hands, fingers, chin, head, all this. So you completely get aware of your physical presence. How you are sitting, your back is aching, your leg is hurting, everything you become aware of. Then you slowly withdraw from that and start thinking what is going on in the mind. Then you are not aware of the body anymore. You start, like children get absorbed in what they're thinking. They don't even listen when you're calling their name, because they will withdrawn from the physical space and gone into the mental space. So their ears are not functioning anymore. Even though somebody is calling the name, he is lost in his own thoughts. So that is the time when you have drawn into the mental space. This is one step lower, like drawn inside your thought space. And then further, if you investigate and from the thoughts, you think, in my mind, these thoughts are coming and going, these thoughts are coming and going. Then slowly, as you start focusing on what is observing these thoughts, like a Drishya Viveka, then you enter the Chidakasha, the ultimate space, which is the awareness in which your thoughts are happening, in which your body is happening, but you are that awareness space. This practice, if you do daily on the basis of this idea of Akasha, you will be able to slowly withdraw, because somebody wrote a question to me that I am not able to practice what you're saying. I say it takes time. Everything does not happen overnight. Slowly, Rome was not built in a day. Take time, but practice every day. From the physical, get wherever you find peaceful time, sit down, go from toes to the top of your head, completely becoming aware of your body. Then go the next step. What's going on in my mind? I'm meditating right now. Swamiji told me to meditate this way. Okay, fine. Observe that thought. Be observers of that thought. You see that in your mind space, the thoughts are moving, doing many things. Then slowly from there, you become aware of the awareness which is observing the thoughts. And when you slowly start going there, it gets deeper and deeper and deeper. Thoughts also disappear over there. And then you are just established there. It's very peaceful, very restful state. When no thoughts are there, it is very restful. In fact, even if you can do this for a few minutes a day and then come back to the normal life, you feel so rejuvenated, recharged. Keep your body, even focus on the body itself is difficult. Because every aspect of your body will take you to some memory, will take you to some experience, will take you to some thought. It will never allow you to focus on your just body without worrying about what happened at that place or this place. Similarly, when you go to mind, after suppose you have conquered this idea of being fully aware of your body, then you slip into your mind space. In that, there are billions and trillions of thoughts. Now, we don't know which thought will catch you at that point in time. So, someone started meditating, then you remember, last time I meditated with some practice session with somebody, this is what was happening. So, your mind is going on somewhere. It's hardly staying in this place. That itself takes a lot of effort. And then you finally go through this clutter. It's like from a crowded, like that's why temples were made like that. You start with the Gopuram, then slowly start walking towards the Garbhagudi. And in between you go to, there are 7 chakras in our body, like that 7 stations in the temple. Finally you reach the ultimate Garbhagudi, which is the Sahasrara chakra. And that is where you experience the divinity. There's a process why things were done like that. But people get distracted on the way. So even to get, and you say that, no, I have got it. I have given one minute for each of these meditations, and at the end of 3 minutes, I will be in the self. No, not possible. For the very idea that at the end of 3 minutes, you are thinking, am I in the self or not, is already 3 minutes or not. You are still in the mental space only, you have not gone to the spiritual one. So the practice, it takes time. You cannot just rush it through, because if you rush like that, then you will really not enjoy it. It's like eating some food which is very well made, but you're just gobbling it without chewing, without tasting, without feeling the different tastes that it is bringing. If you take it slowly and chew it nicely, then you experience the various flavors in your mouth. That is you enjoy. Even I used to gobble up all the food, because from the childhood we were in a great hurry only all the time. Because so I never enjoyed the food till I watched this movie called Ratatouille. Have you watched this movie Ratatouille? It's about a rat which makes a dish called Ratatouille, and this is a French dish, a peasant's dish. But the movie is about flavors, being able to live in the moment. Actually, the spiritual significance of the movie is to enjoy the moment, be here and now, and savor every flavor of that moment without missing any. That was the idea. But I never realized that you should eat like this slowly and enjoy every bit of it. There is sweetness, there is bitterness, and every sweet is different. It brings some other flavor with it. Are we really enjoying our lives by being in the moment, being in the present, being in the now? No. Either we're living in the past or living in the future. Nobody lives in the present. Because the moment we try to bring to ourselves to the present, some past thought will engage with us, or some future worries will start coming. We are never in the present. Those who are in the present, they really are always refreshed and relaxed. Those who live in the past or the future are the ones who are always stressed and anxious. So this practice, if you do this bhuta kasha to chitta kasha to chida kasha, it will help you to live in the present and now, which will help you to deal with situation. Khelato bhogalilaya. You will be able to play along, go along, spontaneously, effortlessly. You will be able to navigate through the life without getting burden of doership and enjoyership. You will remain ever free. So that is the idea of being able to remain untouched by whatever happens, like the space remains untouched. So try to practice this. I will try to see if I can put it in a format. As I said, I have not learnt it methodically structured. It is very difficult for me to tell how much time, how many counts, how many times you should breathe, how many times you should say this. I just can't. No, it depends on individual people. But few things you should do. I think they're teaching in your morning yogas also. You should do nadi shuddhi. That is, you should breathe through both the nostrils to bring your both moon and the sun energy, they call it. In the night we keep breathing through our left nostril. In the mornings we breathe through this right nostril, because the sun is dominant on the right side and moon is dominant on the left side. These two energies, the feminine and the masculine, as they say. So Ida is on the left side, Pingala is on the right side. These two energies have to be balanced for us to develop that equanimity and balance. So physically, when you do bhuta kasha practice, the body practice, first balance the breaths. So if you put your finger in front of your nose, try to breathe and see which nostril is active. Of course, a lot of you have cold and cough, but then generally I'm saying, in the morning, right should be active, left should not be so active. Or both are active is also okay. But left being active in the morning time is not a good sign. That is, left energy is calming energy, relaxing energy. Maybe when you're relaxed in meditation also, sometimes left can be active. So if you're relaxed also, left can be active, or the other thing is you're sleepy. But otherwise in the daytime when sun is up, right should be active. And for a yogi, both should be active in a balanced way. You breathe in and breathe out through both the nostrils. So what we do before we start any meditation, you take your breathe in through left, breathe out through the right. Like this, you keep shifting between the nostrils a few times. That will start helping you to balance your nose. So that one thing. Second thing you should do, once you have gotten both the airs right, it means now your energies are balanced. You are in a better position to meditate or focus. Then you do regular pranayama, which is 3 steps. You breathe in, you hold, and then breathe out. And again hold. It's not like breathe in, hold, breathe out, and again breathe in. No. Breathe in, hold, breathe out, hold. Breathe in, hold, breathe out, hold. How long we should do that? Depends on your comfort, your lung power. So breathe in and then hold for some time, probably, if preferably equal times. Then breathe out with the same equal times. If you count like 3 counts, so breathe in 1, 2, 3, hold 1, 2, 3, exhale 1, 2, 3, and hold 1, 2, 3. If you do that, your mind will start relaxing. That is very powerful because mind and breath are connected. Breath is the fuel for the mind. So if you control your breath, you breathe deeply and slowly, your mind will start relaxing, settling down. So that is the second pranayama you must do. After that, you start this focus on your toes to all this process, from down to up and up to down. Twice you do. Go from toe to your heels, to your knees, to your thighs, your waist, your chest, your arms, your hands, your fingers, your neck, ears, eyes, like that, till the top of your head. Again, return. Top of the head, eyes, nose, ears, fingers, like that. Go till the toe. Then you are fully here in the body. Once you have done that and you are convinced that you are there, you may in between skip off here and there, again restart from toe all the way to top, top all the way to toe. Keep doing 4, 5, 7, 10, whatever number of times it takes for you to fully be in the body. That many times you have to do. Can't skip that 2 times, you do skip off to next mind. No. Once you are fully, thoroughly there, then go to the mind, saying, wait, what is happening in my mind? Then you start analyzing your thought. I said segregating and removing and cleaning up your mind. But you're aware of your mind. That itself will take some time. Because just then when you are becoming aware of your mind, suddenly something will itch here. Again, your whole focus will come back to the body. That is how it keeps shifting. That is why it's very difficult to chanchalami mana, it says. So we have to keep practicing, keep practicing. That mind and thoughts, you start becoming aware of it. Of course, the dominant thoughts will be the first to come up in your process of thinking. Whatever your recent ones or whatever is deepest memories or traumas, these will be the first to appear. You have to analyze them. Somebody wrote to me, I'm struggling with mind and thinking too much. I thought, why are you thinking? You analyze. So the next part of meditation, analyze your thoughts. Vimbrashaya, it says. Analyze your thought. Why this thought is lingering for so many days? What's the reason? Why am I giving it so much of importance? Go to the root of it. What was the origins of it? Like that, keep uprooting each of these thoughts and throwing. That itself will take a couple of months of practice. After that, you slowly start to withdraw into yourself because you have very few thoughts to navigate. In a crowded market, you cannot walk fast. If there are no traffic, you can go fast. So if your mind is relatively empty, your consciousness can be reached faster. Your awareness can be reached faster. But if it's too crowded, then it's very difficult. Think like this. A road full of potholes, twists and turns, you will slow down. Next, a road full of traffic, you will slow down. Finally, you will be able to get out of the whole thing and then you're on a freeway. Likewise, body with lot of difficulties, pains, sickness, it will stop your awareness, consciousness to grow further. So body should be healthy. Then comes mind. Mind also should be healthy, less crowded, so that you can go. Finally, you will be on the freeway of super consciousness, but this takes time. Don't think that every day you do this, every day you will get off into the super conscious state. No, it doesn't happen. You may fool yourself that I've gotten into super conscious state. It won't. You are still in the mind state only, or somewhere lingering there. Because once you go there, thoughts disappear, body consciousness disappears. You're just in a very restful peace. You're not sleeping, but you're totally restful, like in deep sleep. So this is a practice of Akasha. Because the word Akasha was used, I thought I'll mention that. We have 3 bodies. Stula Sharira, which is the Bhutakasha, Sukshma Sharira, which is the Chittakasha, and the ultimate Karana Sharira, which is Chidakasha. But beyond that exists the Supreme Consciousness. But this practice has to happen. Because till these 3 level, identity remains. But after that, identity goes away. So you have to slowly withdraw from one into the other. It's like think of three rooms one after the other. Once you cross the first room, then the second room, then second room to the third room. Like that, it takes a while. And don't rush your process of such meditation, because if you rush it, then you will get wrong results. And you will fool yourself thinking that you have achieved it. But the next disturbance, and you will be all scattered and collapsing. So that steadiness in your practice, consistency, and incremental improvement. I always say continuous improvement. Yesterday you could do only so much, today you can do little more good. So why these yogis, you think for yourself, these yogis in Himalayas for 100 years or whatever, in the old time they say thousands of years. But even in recent times, that for tens of years they're sitting there, no? Once they have achieved that, why should they sit in Himalayas? But they're not able to achieve. That is the whole thing. They wake up at 3 o'clock, 3:30, have cold water bath from the river or the pond, then sit in meditation, eat only once a day so that the body does not get disturbed, energies are preserved. And whole day, whole till night they will be practicing. Again, next morning they'll start and they'll go on doing for decades. Yet they have not reached the state, no? Then how do you do it in 10 minutes here? That expectation itself is wrong. Expectation should be whenever we are ready, the divine will bless us with that. But for readiness, we have to put some efforts. So don't be in a rush, in a hurry. It is not good. Haste makes waste. Waste makes worry. So do not be in a hurry, Bhagwan would say. Do not be in a haste in everything. Everything should be at the organic, natural pace. And whatever is comfortable for you physically, mentally, to that extent only you should go. Don't push yourself beyond that. It won't work. Maybe for some, then don't go and compare with each other. You know, in 15 minutes, I saw 3 colors, 4 sounds. When Devata appeared, he talked to me, said this, said that, and don't go and tell others about it. This is one very bad habit with people who get onto the spiritual path. They're too excited to share whatever they're experiencing. Keep quiet, keep it to yourself. When you keep it to yourself, you will grow much more deeper. And everybody's experience may be different. So you cannot really compare notes and start talking to each other. Don't do that, because that's a bad habit. And second thing, it will unnecessarily bring negativity and sometimes jealousy also. Not everybody is happy about you being happy, okay? The world is not like that. They might be very upset. They may appear to be very happy, and the face will say, very nice, you scored the best marks, you got the first rank, congratulations. Inside, how did he get the first mark? I should have got the first mark. Things like that. So just don't tell anybody about anything. Your spiritual progress is a very personal journey, very inner journey. It is between you and God. Just deal with it like that. Don't go and talking about it. That is one thing that you should learn from today's class.